Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel.
Spider was good.
Today's video we're gonna be talking about the untethered soul while I show you guys my go-to makeup look. I have a few points and like quotes and things that I want to talk about while I also show you the products that I'm using and like the steps that I take to get my like go-to makeup look. I really want to do this video because like recently I have been really getting into like, I would say like this year I have really gotten into like reading. So I've read a lot of books and I'm still like reading a lot of books. I hope to read like, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 more books before the year is over. And this is one of the books that I recently bought because I was recommended it by a friend. So first, I guess I can do like a brief introduction of the book before we get started. Overall, this book is about spirituality, personal growth, and like so much more. It just feels kind of like a guide to finally getting to that point in your life where you are not letting things control you. So with that being said, I'm gonna do my skincare routine first, and while I do that, I'll have my laptop that has like my notes on it and stuff to kind of talk about the book along the way. And hopefully I don't get too distracted, but I also will be like kind of talking about how it relates back to my life and stuff as well. So let's get straight into it. I have like a box full of like all my skincare stuff and a mirror in front of me so that I can see my face while I'm doing my makeup. Y'all have seen me do my skincare a lot, but it's just the first step that I take when I'm doing my makeup. So I'm going to show you guys again because I don't know, maybe you didn't see my other videos and maybe you need to know what's tea. So first I start off with the hyaluronic acid serum from Good Molecules. It just feels very hydrating. It's kind of like a slippery type of feeling. I don't know. I got this new skincare from a video on TikTok that kind of just lets you know like the steps that you need inside of your skincare. And they say like hyaluronic acid, like something to help with discoloration, which brings me to my next product, which is this discoloration correcting serum from Good Molecules. Pretty similar like to the hyaluronic acid in texture, I would say, but it has like this shimmeriness to it that like I was wondering like if that actually is something that's good for my skin or if it's just like for the aesthetics of the product. Not really sure. Okay, so I just now finished this book today and I did record a version of this video on Friday, and I was like, you know what, let me finish the book and then double back because my skin was, you know, all over the place on Friday, and I was just like, you know what, this video could be better, so let me do it over. So after that I used my moisturizer, which is the snail mucin that was like popular on TikTok. It's 2 pumps of that, and I did hear that this is like not the best. It hasn't given me like too much of a problem. I don't think that like this is the cause for any of my acne, but I also don't know, you know, it could be, but I don't think it is. So I put that. The first step to like a good makeup beat is always, you know, a good base. I'm still using this Aquaphor for my lips, y'all. I don't have Dior lip oil money, but my sister has some and that's what I need for my lips, y'all. That's what I need. So I'm gonna get straight into it because I do not want my camera to die like in the middle of this process, because the last time I was recording this video it did, and I find that to be extremely ghetto. Y'all just dropped the whole box of Q-tips Okay, so I'll go through a couple of the key themes to help me spark up a little bit of conversation on it so that I can talk about it while I'm doing my makeup, but I have to keep looking. First, I can tell you guys how I found this book. A friend of mine that I made through TikTok who read a book with me, like the last book that I read, she read it with me, like kind of like book club style. We just talked about each chapter. She recommended this book to me because I believe she was reading it. A couple highlights of this book is like focus on inner peace, spirituality, and self-awareness. A couple key themes would be letting go, like the concept of letting go past experiences, letting go your emotions, and like the thoughts that keep you stuck, and kind of just like how doing that really helps, you know, keep you in the right frame of mind that will allow you to live a happy life. The second theme would be like the voice inside of your head, and that's one of my favorite topics from this book because like he discusses and talks about how like your inner dialogue isn't who we truly are, which is like crazy in itself. And I'll talk more about how that resonates with me further. And then the last key point is living in the present. The importance of being in the present and not really dwelling on the past or the future too much, which me personally, I have a hard time doing. Okay, so step one, I use this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer and just put it on my face. So I think while going in with this and doing my eyebrows, I'll talk about the key theme of letting go throughout this book and how that like kind of resonates with me. So he talks a lot about how letting go of stuff is really like one of the first steps to like healing, because if you're holding on to something, it's no way that you're gonna ever be able to move past that, because it's going to constantly be on your mind. And if you decide, like he talks a lot about like how traumas and stuff in your life kind of stick with you, and it's like as a child it's not much you can do about like a trauma like affecting you outside of remembering, you know, and remember how it makes you feel and like the whole story and like the picture of that you know, that experience that you're holding on to or whatever. But as an adult, he basically is speaking on the fact that you're actively choosing to hold on to certain things because of how it makes you feel, and you don't never want to experience that feeling again. So you hold on to it so that if it ever comes up again, you can kind of just like, it triggers that feeling in you so that you can steer away from it in a sense. So that's one of the main points I would say throughout the book. And for me, I have such a hard time like letting things go because I'm very emotional, and if something makes me feel some type of a way, I'm gonna remember how it makes me feel, and then in another experience that's similar to it, I'll be remembering that, and I'll be bringing those feelings to the forefront because I don't want to have to feel that again. So I'm gonna convince myself to do whatever I need to do to not let that affect me, you know, or like let that happen to me again. Next, which is one of my favorite topics, is the voice inside your head. Because y'all, like, I know everyone has that voice inside their head, bro. Everyone has it. Hold on. I'm looking for my concealer. Found it. So then after I fill in my eyebrows are already threaded, so like it really wasn't too much I needed to fill in. Sometimes my eyebrows do not look like twin sisters, at least not like identical twin sisters, but more like a paternal twin. It may give that. But I feel like it's gonna be kind of hard for me to like stay on track and like also tell you guys about my makeup. So I'm trying to, like, in my head I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do both, because this video concept is new for me. So I'm just trying to like figure it out as I go, so bear with me as I meet a person who already has a hard time focusing on one thing, try to do two things at once, and then also record it in a organized manner to present to other people so that they can also understand the thoughts. Just showing you how my mind works. Well, that's why this book is helping me, because it brings certain things that you do as a human to the forefront that you don't really like recognize that you're doing. Like a lot of the stuff that we do, it's kind of on like an unconscious thing, because some of this stuff has just been within our nature for such a really long time. Unless you are like anyone who likes to read self-help books and actively trying to heal from things that are holding you back in your life. And I feel like this is the perfect, like, books. I love books because as a new adult, I be needing to know stuff. And books always teach you something. You always are learning something when you're reading a book. And y'all, I really, like, as a child, I used to hate reading. Like, my sister would be able to just curl up and read a book, and I'll be like, bro, like, how are you doing that without like wanting to get up and go do something? Because I'm really like the type of person who is like, I can't stay sitting right here for too long. You feel me? Like, I actually am not interested in sitting right here for too long. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten into books more, and yeah, now I'm here trying to show what I learned with the people. So yeah, back to the topic of the inner voice. Like, everyone has that inner voice in their head, and a lot of the times it's playing director in your life. If you have any sorts of traumas, that inner voice is going to run you into the ground, because it knows how certain things make you feel, and it will try to like make things better for you. Like, but what I learned from this book is like, some stuff is just like out of your control. Some stuff you shouldn't be trying to like maneuver so much. And when you learn how to take a step back within your own self and watch the experience of your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts consume you, it makes stuff a lot more easier. You feel me? Like, it makes things a lot more doable and just like better overall. We're gonna go in with this Too Faced Eternal Light. I'm not sure if this is what's in here still. It might just be a little bit of it, but I might have also put a little bit of this inside of here so that I could just use the applicator. I'm going to use this to cover up any spots that I have that I don't want to be, because it's the same skin color as me, like it's my skin tone, so it just helps blend in anything that's like red or dark, etc. So like pimples and whatnot, this is what you use to cover it up. So as an overthinker, I think that's the most, like the part that resonated the most with me was like the inner thoughts part of the chapter about like your inner roommate, he calls it. It resonated with me a lot, because it's like, wow, I really do let that control a big part of my life. And now that I know that, I think I'm able to make a more conscious decision to like not let that consume, you know, everything. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that ends up playing out in my life. Like I can see it a little bit already helping, just like the simple fact that I know that now is helpful. I'm gonna go in under my eye with this. If you can see the difference on this side than this side, because I have a little bit of a dip, I'll go sideways to kind of cover that up, that shadow. It's really better to go around the edges of anything that you put on your face, because if you can see on this side I went around the edges and on this side I didn't. It just pressed into the crease that I had. So I'm gonna try that again. And see if I can still. I don't think that made much of a difference, but it's too late now. I'm gonna have to go over it with a lighter color anyways. So now at this point in my face, I've done like the concealing, I guess you could say. Next, let's talk about living in the present. So I think the idea of like getting out of your head helps you a lot when it comes to living in the present more, instead of like letting stuff control your life. Because once you stop letting that inner voice make your decisions for you, then you can just be present. And it's extremely important to be present, because if you're not present in like just the most simplest things in life, a lot of stuff can like fly right by. Like a lot of opportunities, a lot of human interactions and experience would get bypassed if you weren't paying attention. Like imagine you are distracted by the thoughts in your head and your dream job is hiring and you missed the sign because like you're just not paying attention. Something else has you occupied, your phone, you arguing with your boyfriend on your phone, like anything. So right now I am using this matchstick by Fenty in the color Truffle. And I'm using this kind of a brush to just kind of put it where I want it. And I enjoy doing bronzer as like one of the first couple steps, because if I mess it up, I could always go over it with my foundation or my concealer, my lightest concealer. And I just pretty much go around the edges where I want it to be sharp. I love a sharp line down here, and I definitely hit the chin. And I can blend this out a little bit. I mean, I don't know what else to say, like what more to say about like living in the moment outside of just like it's something you just gotta do to like truly experience life. A lot of stuff can fly like right by you if you aren't paying attention, and that's really all living in the moment is about. It's just like paying attention to the experience of life instead of letting life experience you. Like, we're here for a reason, and that reason is way beyond like the superficial things in life. Like, and I think that's something that a lot of people just let go right by them. It's like, this is not about getting rich so you can buy a Birkin bag. Like, it might be about definitely getting to a financially stable point where if you wanted to, or if it was beneficial to you, you could buy a Birkin bag. But it shouldn't be like where you're spending your days thinking about the times when you can afford a Birkin bag instead of being grateful for the bag that you got from Target last week. Next, y'all love a good Fenty product. I got this blurring skin tint because I really don't like how it feels to have like a lot of foundation on your face. So I'm gonna use this. And let me be careful because I don't get it on this white shirt. I don't use a lot of this. Sometimes I feel like this might be too light for my skin, but we move. I'll put a little bit everywhere, including my forehead. I would hate to give the girls a scare like that and not be putting any makeup on my forehead. I know y'all don't play like that, and I don't either. Now, I probably shouldn't be using this brush to pat this in, so I'm gonna switch to my foundation brush. Looks like this. And yeah, let me get to this. We're moving along pretty fast, making great progress. Make sure I get this in all the right places. And so far, I'm liking how this base is looking. I think I'm gonna go with more of like a subtle makeup look, not really flashy. So now we've covered letting go, the voice inside your head, living in the present. Now we can talk about the concept of the witness and like the idea of being an observer of your thoughts and emotions instead of identifying with them. This is kind of like going a little bit more in depth with the voice inside your head idea. Let me figure out what's the next step for this before I continue talking about that. I think at this point I go in with my lighter concealer and put that in the places where I want it to be a little bit brighter. So I always go with a brighter under eye. I don't want it to be like super bright, so I'm probably just gonna use like one tap. And we're gonna see how that like just one. So I'm gonna spread that under my whole eye, just a little bit here, a little bit here, and I'm gonna end up blending that all out. I actually kind of want this to get a little bit dry before I do anything with it, so it can stay in its place. So the witness. Who is the witness? The witness is you. You are the person who is witnessing your thoughts and your emotions, and you shouldn't be letting them take over your entire, like, what's the word that he's using, that he likes to use? The entire, like, basically, like, you shouldn't let it consume your energy. Any of the emotions that you're feeling, unless it's happiness, you shouldn't let it take over your whole body. You shouldn't let your thoughts control you to a point where it's like you don't have any like say in like what's really going on with yourself, because the thoughts you have and like the emotions you feel, they all come from experiences that you've already had. So imagine you have thoughts and emotions that are just still around from something that your parents said or did to you when you were a child, or like an experience that you had when you were in high school, you know, like as you grow up, you had to learn how to let those things go. Okay, I'm sure you can kind of see the difference in like how, like what that did for me on that side. Just a little bit, so that you have like a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of a lighter, it always becomes a little bit hard for me to match how I did this side on this side, so let me lock in real quick. But in the book, overall, like what I took away from it is learning how to separate yourself from the negative thoughts and learn how to let them, like, you can still feel your emotions, you can still have these thoughts, but you shouldn't let them linger for too long, you know? Some stuff you just have to like, okay, yes, this makes me mad, this made me feel some type of way, and then that's the end of that. You don't hold on to that for any longer than that acknowledgement of how it makes you feel. Now just go and around these so it doesn't look harsh, help it blend out. I like this side a little bit better than this side. That's sometimes how it works. Like it always doesn't look the exact same every time you do it, and that's okay. I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender at the top and just beat a little bit more because we want this to blend out. Right? I don't know, I feel like a lot of the notes that I have can be repetitive about this book because a lot of the overall idea is just like, you know, like it's all pretty much connected in the same sense, like with your thoughts, separating yourself from all of your traumas, and then also a big thing that he says, like learning how to keep your learning how to keep your heart open and not close it when certain things are like negative. Like if you feel something negative come into your heart and it makes you close up, you have to learn how to not let your heart stay closed, or to not let your heart close at all, period, no matter what happens, because that's how you lose your happiness and like your energy. something like he calls your Shakti, I believe. I have a couple quotes that I'll say, that I can say, that I can share with you guys, that I feel like were like very popular or like stood out to me. So one on inner peace, he says, the truth is everything will be okay as soon as you are okay with everything, and that's the only time everything will be okay. This is just a reminder that finding peace is about accepting life as it is. Like, no matter what life comes with, you have to be okay with whatever it is. That's the only way. That is the only way that you'll be okay with whatever it is. It's simply acknowledging that with whatever life comes with, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna always get back to a point where I'm in a good place. Okay, so at this point, I do powder. And this is the powder I use. I believe it's like Revolution. But I've had this for so long that it no longer has like a name on it. And yeah, I got it from the beauty supply. So I'm sure you could find it in your local beauty supply. And I like this. I like this quote that he says about inner peace, because that's just the truth. Like, you'll never be okay with anything until you realize that it's never gonna be just always perfect. Life is not gonna be perfect. Life is gonna throw curveballs, and you just have to be prepared to deal with that, because it's not gonna forever be anything negative. Life is like a cycle. If something bad is happening, something good is gonna follow eventually. You just have to be okay with being in that position that you're in until you're just not there anymore. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't make moves to make it better, but you can't stress about anything that, one, is eventually gonna change, and two, if you can't control anything, like if it's some factors, external factors that mean that you're not gonna be able to change anything, then what can you do? So then I look like this. I look like this, and this is an interesting look, but if you know anything about makeup, then you know this is one of the best parts. And then next I have my Fenty bronzer, Instant Warmth bronzer Mocha in the color Mocha Miami. And it's like the powder bronzer that I like to put on top of my like cream bronzer. And it's a little bit like, because my matchstick is this color. This one's a little bit more red, and I love it because like it just gives you like that really like bronzy orange kind of a look, like reddish, like you got a little bit of sunburn. It's more of a summery vibe, but I wear it whenever, because who gonna check me, boo? Now I could use this brush for like these areas, and then I want to use this one for my nose area because I don't want it to be too, you know. So just dab it, get a little bit of that, and you want to put it in the same places where you put that matchstick at. Definitely go in cheek area. I'm gonna blend this out too, don't worry. I love hitting my edges because it makes me feel like my forehead is a little bit shorter than it actually is. My forehead not even that big, but I do love a a nice bronze around the edge. I'm gonna go here. I don't know, y'all, like, moral of the story is just like, because I'm just like, I just feel like I'm running circles around myself, even with this freaking notes. Here's another quote on letting go. There is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it. Like, if you know anything about my Mr. Michael Singer, I'm gonna say my bro, like, I know Michael Singer personally, but what he really wants y'all to understand, and when I say y'all, all of us, is that you have got to get out of your mind and get into real life. Like, that's such a big takeaway for me. It's like, get out of that head and go get some bread. No. But he just like, bro, like, life is worth living. Live it. Don't let it pass you by. And it will pass you by if you're always in your head. And then he's like, and if you're always in your head, like, you're always in your head, and what you don't even realize is that that's not even your thoughts for real. Like, that's just like a coping mechanism. Like, it's really just a coping mechanism, y'all. An attempt to never be hurt the way that you were hurt whenever you were hurt. You know, like, and everybody's triggers and everybody's thoughts are different because we all have different experiences. But what Michael wants you to know is that you should never let that consume you. And I agree. And I also don't want it to consume me either, Michael. So guess what? I'm not. Because he says that a lot too, because it's like, the only way not to let these things consume you and not to let stuff like this affect your entire life is to genuinely just not let it do that. Like, you just can't let it do that. Okay, so now, I don't know, as y'all can see, I kind of just was brushing everything, extra powders off. I'm going to need to go in a little bit closer with I'm gonna need to go in a little bit closer with my bronzer and just get those extra harsh lines out, because we don't want no extra harsh bronzer lines on the nose area. But sometimes we get that because I love bronzer, and I will go bronzer crazy. So I think that looks good. Now at this point, I'm going to get this extra moisture from around my mouth, so I can do my lip combo. I think my lip combo is in my purse. 1 second. Here it is. I guess, like, to get like the full picture of everything with the book, it's just like you have to really read it. I don't think anything, like, I could tell you only so much though. Okay. I like to overline my lips just a little bit in certain areas to make them look fuller. And I did that in the color Cola by Juvia's Place. And then I go in with this Ruby Rose lip gloss, also by Juvia's Place, as my lip combo. I'm gonna do another quote that I think is an important quote. Life is not something that you get, and it's something that you experience. So like, you shouldn't be waiting around to live life. You should be living life every day, no matter what. And he gave kind of an extreme example of like wanting true happiness. And he was like, if someone asked you if you wanted to be happy, right? Your answer would be yes. But then if your like wife leaves you, and then someone asks you if you want to be happy, and you say you can't be happy right now because your wife just left you, then it means that you don't want to be happy. And what I get from that is just kind of like, he's saying you have to choose to always be happy no matter what's happening in your life. And that's like literally the only way to live a life of happiness, is to be happy regardless of your circumstances. And it's definitely easier said than done. I'm not gonna act like it's not. I think I'm gonna put some brown eyeliner. It doesn't really show that much, but it is like it's a little bit subtle, like, you know, change. Oh, you know what I forgot, y'all? I don't know if it's too late because I already did like the matte part of my look, but I think I'm gonna still put it on top anyways, my blush, because it kind of mattes out anyways. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that. And I love this brush. It's from Rare Beauty in the color Love. And it just, this is the perfect color for me because it's just like I don't know, it's just so pretty. And then my matte version of this is this Revolution Pink Lady powder, and it's a little bit lighter than this, but it mattes it out, which brings it together. And I think I want to go in with this brush that has a little bit of my powder on it, just to bring back some of the lines. Like, it's not such a harsh line with this blush. Now I'm gonna do my mascara. This is not my mascara, it's my little sister's, but I don't have any more mascara, so this is what we're gonna use and see how that looks. So hopefully it doesn't ruin it. Another quote from the book, this one's about like happiness or whatever. He says, if you want to be happy, you have to let go of the part of you that wants to create melodrama. And he really like called me out with that one, y'all. He called me out because I think I have like a part of me that really wants, and this is not even like the kind of drama where it's just like with other people, but like when it comes to like relationships. Okay, I was trying to talk while I was doing my mascara and almost ruined the whole look. Secondly, this mascara is eating. Like, doing the bottom lashes is a must, but can you see the difference between the eye with no mascara and then the eye with. Like, this is Maybelline New York Lash Sensational Sky High. Girl, this eats. I feel like drugstore mascara always eats, but also like Maybelline is not one of them. This probably wasn't even cheap. I feel like I'm clumping this side up on accident, trying to bring it back. I'm gonna just leave that alone. Okay, I think that eats. I'm actually loving how this is coming out. Go back in with my trusty dusty. I don't think that it's not blending well, but I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this. This is the Ruby Kisses No More Blemishes press powder. Also got this from the beauty supply, and I feel like it just helps blend all of the colors together. Oop, did not mean to do that. Because when you got the lights and the reds and the oranges coming together and it's a matte look, sometimes it can be a lot going on. Now, decisions. Like, do I want to do a little bit of highlighter? I think yes. I always use this Costa Coral Color Pop color Atoli, this as highlighter. I have highlighter, but it's by Revolution, but I like using this. And like my nose already has like a little bit of highlight going on, so I'm gonna just bring it out with that. Do I want to do a little bit in the eye, the corner of the eye? Just a little bit. And I think, oh, hold on. We need to get under that nose. We need to, did my nose think it was gonna get away with that? From the front, it was, but from the side, oh, hell no. And I'm talking about, did my nose think it was gonna get away with it? Did I think I was gonna get away with that? Let's be for real. My couch is a mess right now. I'm trying to see if I like it. I think I do like it. Let's come back and finish off this book topic. Now that the makeup is done, I probably ended off on fear and vulnerability. You don't have to be afraid of life. You're afraid of the pain that the events of life will cause you. This is just kind of like a reflection on how fear limits us, and fear definitely limits me, especially when it comes to like YouTube and like just being in the public eye, because like it's just so much that comes with that. But I will say that reading this book is definitely helped me and will continue to help me with stepping out of my comfort zone and doing my best to stay out of my like mind and my thoughts and actually go out and live life at a level that allows me to truly say that I'm living life, and that if, like an example he gave in the book, if I was to die, or if like death came and told me like, oh, you're about to die in a month, that I would feel satisfied knowing that I've been living every day of my life to a point where it's like I can keep living like this until that day comes, because I know that I've been living to my fullest. So I just hope in this next year I can get to a point where that is the case for me, because of course every day is not always a consistent, you know, 10, but as long as you're putting your best foot forward every day, then there should be no regrets ever. And that's the point I'm trying to get to. Like, that's the point I'm trying to get to in my life. It's just no regrets in how I'm moving, no regrets in anything, because I'm on my stuff, I'm on my grind. And yeah, like, I think that's pretty much it on the book for me. I recommend that everyone goes and get this book. Do y'all see how I like butchered this book, y'all? It definitely helped me, and I think it could help someone else. And if you want this book, in the comments I'll send it to you, because I want everybody to like experience it. And since I've already read it, I'm not gonna read it again. I have so many books that I have read and that I haven't read. Let me show you. I have read these, so if y'all wanted like a book report on any of these, I still need to read these. I started reading this one, I just haven't finished it. I got this one so I can dabble into like non-fiction, well, no fiction. And then I also already read this one, and I haven't read this one. I think this is more like a coffee table book anyways, but look forward to hearing about these books, because I'll definitely be talking to you guys about them in the near future. But all of that to say, thank you so much for watching my video, and let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. Your favorite girl, CK.